This, my friends, is a 12-day-old organic raspberry, and it looks the same as it did when I bought it. Now, if you are an avid berry buyer like we are, you will know that 12 days for a raspberry, especially an organic one for that matter, is just unheard of for it to even last that long, let alone look like that. So I want to talk to you about food storage today and something that I've been using for the last 3 months that has honestly blown me away. This is called the Zwilling Fresh Save system. Now, it's pretty dang cool. I believe it's really affordable for what you get with everything. Without further ado, let me just show you exactly how it works, what it is, and what you get with certain packages. This food storage system comes with glass containers with plastic lids that suction cup and pull the air out from your food. And it also comes with different size plastic resealable bags. Now, before I get into this further, I made a video almost 3 years ago now on my channel where I reviewed the Nesco vacuum sealer. And I have been using that since then. I really do like that. But one thing that kind of always bothered me was the amount of wasted plastic that I would get from that. And if that's something that matters to you, which it probably does to a certain extent, these plastic bags that the Fresh and Save comes with are completely reusable, washable. You can cook with them in the sous vide bath. And all you have to do is fill them up with hot soapy water, seal them up, shake them around, flip them inside out, give them a little brush with a hot sponge, and dry them, and then you can reuse them again. This is actually one that I've used in the past. Actually, all of these are. So they come with different size bags. I got the 32-piece system, which comes with all 5 of these glass containers, different sized ones, berries, strawberries. This larger one we like to reserve for like marinades and stuff for food prep. So I just threw in some frozen chicken with some barbecue sauce, and I'll just let that kind of marinate in the fridge for the next couple days while that thaws out, and then I'll just cook it right over the grill. Easy peasy. So when it comes to food prep, this makes your life really easy, and since it's airtight, removes any possibility of any nastiness or bacteria getting into your food. Which brings me back to the raspberries and the strawberries and the blueberries. I love blueberries. My daughters eat strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries every single day. And in the past, they would only last 4 to 5 days because we typically buy organic. The other ones don't last much longer either, to be honest with you. After 4 or 5 days, the raspberries start to really shrivel up on themselves. Strawberries the same. They start to develop some mold and other things like that because of the moisture in there. But with these, I mean, I just showed you a 12-day-old raspberry. It's honestly phenomenal, and it's saved us a bunch of money. So for the cost of the 32-piece system is $249, and it comes with the vacuum sealer itself, of course. So for $250, the amount you'll save on your grocery bill by making things last. I did this the other day just for this video, to prep for this video. So this is about 2.5 days old. I cut this avocado in half. You know as well as I do that an avocado, no matter how well you seal it, does not look that green after a day, right? This is 2.5 days going on 3. So I gotta tell you, that's pretty fantastic. We also like to buy our meats and seafoods in bulk. So whenever I buy salmon, I buy it by the case because they usually save about 20, sometimes 25% off of your meat and proteins. So that's the way we like to buy it because it saves us money in the long run. But once we started using these, what I do is I cut up my salmon or my chicken or my steaks or whatever, and I go ahead and season them. Sometimes if I'm preparing for a specific type of meal, you'll find out in a second, but I'll go ahead and season them or marinate them, zip them up, freeze them, and then they're ready to just throw in the sous vide bath, frozen, and cook up for dinner. I mean, it's fantastic. So, and also you use these bags for the sous vide system as well. Now the sous vide system is extra. I'll put links for all this stuff in the description below if you want to check them out. But guys, I used to be like a total sous vide skeptic, but this system actually changed my mind on the sous vide because let's be honest, cooking in a water bath in plastic bags just doesn't sound appetizing. At least to me, it doesn't. I gotta tell you, once I tried it, especially with this system of food prep and frozen foods and just throwing frozen foods right in the sous vide, it's really changed my mind. And the flavor that you get out of them, you cook them to a little under temp and then you sear them off. It is delicious. It is a delicious, fantastic, and kind of foolproof, easy way of cooking. Pretty cool. Now let's talk specifically about the vacuum sealer. This thing, I watched them do this on their YouTube channel where they vacuum sealed an aluminum can in one of these bags to show the durability of these bags. And so I had to try it for myself. So this is what you're watching right now, but it crushes the can. Of course, it was an open, empty can, but it crushes the can, which when you crush a can, you know as well as I do that it produces really, really sharp corners and edges. And those edges did not puncture the bag. So very durable bags, very strong vacuum sealer. This thing is about the size of a pepper mill, maybe a little bit larger depending on your pepper mill, but it weighs 7 ounces. So easily stored in a drawer. That's where we keep ours. And really accessible for all of these. Now, these can be kind of bulky to store, but since they always have food in them for us, I haven't really worried about it. They are all dishwasher safe, microwave safe, and a pretty cool thing, they're oven safe as well. Well, the glasses and the lids aren't. So for this, if you were gonna do like some salmon instead of barbecue chicken and you had a little marinade, you could just put your frozen salmon in there, season it up, marinate it, and then when you're ready to cook it, preheat your oven, remove the lid, and then just throw the glass right in there. And then this part is actually one of my favorite parts is you can pull it out of the oven after it's cooled down, of course. If you have leftovers, just put the lid back on after you wash it and then pull the air out of it, and then it'll keep your leftovers for even longer than before. It is a really cool system. If you guys can't tell, I've been really enjoying this for the last 3 months. Now, going along with that theme of marinades and stuff like that, what's really interesting when you pull the air out of a container and you have a protein like a steak or a piece of salmon or a piece of chicken in there is when you remove that air, it actually opens the pores of the meat. So if you've got a marinade in there, that marinade is going to get deeper into the food, creating a more rich and intense flavor from that marinade. So you'll get more out of your marinades. And the kicker is you'll marinate twice as fast because those pores are open. So no longer, if you're gonna do a 2-day marinade, maybe you're doing some bulgogi or something like that, and you wanna go 24 hours, well, you could probably just get it ready in the morning before you head to work now, and then throw it in the fridge and pull it out for dinner, and it's ready and it's marinated completely. So that's a pretty cool aspect to it as well, I think. For us, it is fire season, so we can have, no, I should say campfire season. So we have a lot of fires outside and we do a ton of s'mores. So we always have marshmallows, and we like to keep the marshmallows from getting all dry and crackly like my winter skin, you know? And so we put them in these containers, suck the air out of them, it pulls the air out, and then it's kind of satisfying to watch, but as soon as you pull the tabby to let the air out so that you can access them again, they suck back down. So it's just kind of fun to watch, and the kids honestly get a kick out of it every single time. You know, the things that honestly entertain kids could just be a little vacuum sealed marshmallow instead of these expensive toys, but I digress. Now, Zwilling says that these containers and these packages will help your food and produce last up to 5 times longer. A lot of the times I have not really had them in the fridge for that long because we go through them pretty quickly. But like I showed you the 12-day-old raspberry, I did that on purpose just for this case. That is at least 2 to 3 times longer than that would have lasted in general. So I can't attest to the 5 times, but I can see how they can say that. Like I said, we use this big one for marinades or something like that, but since we go through a lot of fruits, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, and cantaloupe every single week. And sometimes they need to last longer, sometimes the kids eat them all. But they are fresh, just like the day we bought them, anytime they pull them out of the fridge, which is wonderful. And now the bags, we use them for sous vide cooking or marinating in a bag and then thrown right into the sous vide, or just bulk storage of our proteins. So that's what we use them for there. And it's amazing that they come in all these different sizes. These big ones I tend to use for breads. So what I'll like to do with my homemade bread to make it last a little longer is I usually make 2 to 4 loaves every single time, is I will leave 1 loaf out for freshness, just so the kids have a fresh loaf. But also I'll take the loaves in there, put them in the big bag, seal it. I won't vacuum seal it first, and then I'll freeze it. I'll freeze it for about 8 hours so that the bread is nice and hard. And then I'll suck the air out of it so to let them last in the freezer a lot longer without developing any kind of freezer burn. That's a way to do softer foods, is to freeze them a little bit first and then pull the air out of them. So that would be my recommendation for softer foods. So we also use the bags for our fresh produce like asparagus, peppers, broccoli, things like that that sometimes can sit in the fridge a little too long and get a little stanky. You ever pulled out a piece of broccoli out of the bag from the grocery store at about 6 days and it's got that broccoli stank to it? You know what I'm talking about. That doesn't happen with the bags. Pulls all the air out of them, makes them last longer and taste better. So your produce does last so much longer and doesn't get any stank on it, you know? I think this system is pretty great. We've been using it for about 3 months without fail, and my wife loves it, I love it, the kids love it because the food stays fresher longer and tastier. So if you want your food to last longer and you've tried other food storage systems, I'd love to know the storage system you may use at home. There are many, so this isn't the only one out there, but this is what I've been using for the last 3 months. Really enjoy it. So I'd love to know what you use at home to make your foods last longer. And if you want to reduce the amount of plastic that you throw in your trash can, because a lot of places don't take plastic bags anymore in the recycling. Ours doesn't. So the less we can produce of that plastic garbage makes me feel better inside. So that's it. I'd love to know what you think of this system. Maybe you have it, maybe you don't, maybe you're looking for something. Hit me up in the comments. As always, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.